Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I meant to do this video a few days ago, probably over the weekend, but I'm just doing a quick video now because there's been a lot of talk about what's going on and things like that. So there's always this expectation of the things that are going on in the world today. I just wanted to mention that some of my videos are all over the place, and sometimes they're just meant to be that way because of the content that's being delivered to you guys. But either way, I do try and just kind of capture the best image, so to speak, get the best picture that we can when it matters the most. So there's, you know, the way I see things, the way that they're just presented to me, it's um, but it's us as humanity, and some of us that don't have a better understanding of what this template of the third dimensional world that we live on this planet, on this part of the galaxy, right? And just how many levels you're aware of that intimately for yourself, that that you are inside a matrix of that, and then you could still live and have your being within this concept. You know, imagine if you're a fish inside the fishbowl. Now, there's plenty of fish in the sea, right? But you're a fish that knows that you are in a fishbowl, right? So, some people are living in this world, they're going out, they're having dinner, they're visiting people, they're seeing friends, they're just living their regular lives, and they're just not aware of that experience. So, when you look outside of the concept of what you think as a fishbowl of your life, then you get the privilege of knowing and seeing a little more than the average fish that's out there. You understand slightly more, right? A little, just enough to know that there's something out there, something better. So I guess that's the message that I wanted to say. I also want to say a lot of things about what's going on in the world today, a lot of current events and things like that. But it doesn't feel like I should, right? But either way, there's going to be um, a this war that this war that we're in is going to cost $37.6 billion in total. Now, I don't speculate on how that's going to be spent or how the money is going to be used, or how many missiles of that are going to be built, or what processes are going to be taken to consume that amount of money. That's not where I would go into, but someone else could. And also, sometimes you're poking a bear, and this bear might want to hurt you back, and maybe not in a physical way, but you could be freezing cold in the winter, and that's um, as a means of showing your strength instead of just presenting your strength in a different way. Then that's not necessary. That's not civilized yet, but still, though, you don't want to freeze in the wintertime either. But still, you should present your argument that this isn't right, and this is the way that I choose to handle that situation that we have. So there's always a lot of things going on in the world, and you're aware that there's so many moving pieces to making this earth that we live in a viable place where it matters. So, um, I can't see any more Q&As at this time. I don't necessarily want to go into too much of what our connection is and how are we um, bonded, right? What's the bond that unites us? But you'll find people, and I found people that think like me in a way or enough that we can dialogue and create a consensus for each other where we can discuss our differences and find a happy medium for everybody, because what this does now is join a lot of those people that are aware that they're in the fishbowl like you and me, and that understand that there's more convergence of people like that that's going to happen, and others are just going to be, I wouldn't necessarily say left behind, but that's a good way that I would tell myself what's going on. And it goes so much deeper than just being set aside, so to speak. But one way I can say this is that as a person, you are a soul more than anything else that is living an experience for yourself that you've tailored for yourself and created for yourself so that you can learn, right? And then I'm learning, and you're learning, and she's learning, and he's learning, and they're learning, and them learning, and everyone's picking up on something here, real time, at the same time, right? So there's a tapestry, there's a moving cog in this whole thing where just there's a century or an eon of time where certain events happen. There's a phase of a recurring theme so that your soul can learn these things as you go. And some voluntarily pick out a phase in a growing society of people that need to elevate their spiritual awareness enough so that there comes a teacher that teaches, right? There's a person out there that can entertain an idea that everyone would agree to, and maybe even have some haters as well. And we've had those sort of teachers show up in the past, and they've delivered a message. Now, does the message of the teacher that we all know, is it valid? I mean, then why say that, or why talk about a lesson from a teacher for everyone in humanity if it isn't going to be persistent through time? So if this teacher shows up and walks the deserts and wears sandals and has a robe, walks around with his friends, and he's hanging out and he's telling them things, and his friends are writing it down, and they create a manuscript of sorts, and everyone should at least have an idea of what this means at the very slightest, then we can all go in the same direction together. Now, that doesn't mean that others have completely absorbed all the information and applied it to themselves and understood more, right, than what you think is it's normal. And then some just don't understand and don't get it, which is okay, because a lot of people are in different stages, and then we're all just here together living this experience all at once. So there's a lot of great things to think about what I've said, and there's a lot of information that I would want to know that are even more puzzling now. So I could put myself in your shoes of those that don't understand what I mean, or understand the meaning, but are just saying, well, I just don't get it. I just can't be nice to this person. I just can't seem to get myself to reconcile something because it doesn't sink in for me or for you or for her. I've experienced a lot of reconciliations that I can't wrap my head around, because it's just the experience for me. It's also unique because it's unique for everyone. And then maybe you can tell that someone has a situation going on, and you can tell them about it, mention it, talk about it, but still it's better if someone, it's better if you don't know the magic trick, because when you know the magic trick, then it's not a magic trick anymore. You don't see the magic trick. You just see what has happened. And a lot of people want to be told a secret, or want to be told a trick to life, or something that maybe I know, or you know, or someone else knows. And they're thinking, well, if I know this, then I can figure everything else out. And that's just not the way it works. Because it's better to have someone walk you through in parables and have you figure it out for yourself, so that it's integrated into your experience, than just knowing what the answers are on the test and not having to really apply yourself to pass the test. So then you're not passing a test. You're not integrating that fully with you. You just want to know what the answer is, or want to get through this so I can move on to something else. But that's not the way it works. And you'll be just put back in a place where you'll need to complete whatever you need to complete. So pace yourself, be easy on yourself. It's definitely staggered, so that even my experiences are unique to myself, where there are things and challenges that I have to overcome for myself, just like anyone else, right? So we're all in this together at different levels, and I think that's what's important. And excuse me. And I think that's going to be the end of my video. Maybe it opened up more doors than it should have, or maybe it just didn't resonate, and that's okay. But I leave you with that. I hope that you can replay this one again, because it's really, it's one of those videos that I'm proud of. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.